What's up, guys? If you aren't careful with the types of goals you're going for right now, then you might end up with the wrong one and be completely fucking miserable. Our happiness is so tied to the relationships that we do have. It's really easy to get misguided and misled once you already develop feelings for a girl. So it's really important to identify if she's the right one before you get too emotionally invested and it becomes too difficult to leave, even when you know you should. Aristotle once said, even a god finds it hard to love and be wise at the same time. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to be wise before you fall in love. I'm gonna go through the red flags that you should really look out for. And not the obvious ones. This video isn't gonna be, hey, don't date a girl who's got a drug problem, or don't date a girl that's fucking with your friends or some shit. This is about the subtle signs, the ones that are more difficult to pick up on. These are the red flags where the behavior might actually make you feel good about yourself. It might be an ego boost. It might look like the girl really cares, but there could be something deeper to that. It could be the beginning of something more toxic. So I'll not only show you how to spot these subtle red flags, but exactly what to do about it. I'm Marcus Wolf, an international dating and sex coach, and each week I'm gonna be coming on here giving you tips and strategies to be the best version of yourself inside and outside the bedroom, so you can get the goals that you deserve, the goals that you really fucking desire. So just to be upfront to start with, red flags are really going to depend on what you're looking for in the girl or what type of relationship you're after. Because obviously, look, if I'm going out to the club with one of my girls and I'm just looking for a third girl for a threesome, I'm not sitting there being like, oh, I hope she's not too much drama. I hope she's not a little bit crazy. Like, honestly, that may be exactly what I'm looking for in that situation. So this video is more about the girls that you're thinking a little bit more serious about, or even like casual, but you want to spend more time with. These are the signs that are going to save you the heartache and the time from investing into the wrong girl. So number one is she puts you on a pedestal. These are the types of girls that after the first date, they're already in love. You cannot do anything wrong. You're the best. She's already messaged your friends saying how amazing you are. She's blowing up your phone wanting to see you again. She said it was the best night of her whole entire life. Now, of course, this is going to feel amazing. It's going to feel very validating, but it's also a problem because she sees you as perfect and you're not. No one is perfect. So it's just setting yourself up for potential disappointment down the track when she starts to see you for who you actually are. Most girls that do this are just trying to convince themselves that this idea is fairy tale and you just happen to be the character that's in it. It's not really about you. They haven't found you and you're amazing. They just want the fairy tale. Now, the problem with this is some guys, they jump into that fairy tale too. It feels nice. And it stops you from actually seeing other red flags that might pop up. Because if it feels so good, it's easy to ignore everything else. Maybe your friends come to you and are like, man, this girl's not good for you. Maybe she's going out partying all the time, messaging all these other guys, but keeps telling you that you're perfect. And so you ignore the rest of it. But the real problem is, if your relationship is based on a fairy tale, it's only gonna last for so long. When that worshipping and that idea in your mind dissipates, then what happens? You're gonna be left wondering what you did wrong, why your behavior has changed. And she's honestly probably just gonna move on to the next fairy tale, the next idea. So be careful. You don't wanna be dating unrealistic, deluded women. Women that are insecure. These are the types of girls that are always telling you like, oh, I'm not sure if this is too fat on me. I don't know if my makeup is right. I don't know if this dress is right for the occasion. And again, it can be comforting, because it takes the pressure away from you. It kind of blinds you with your own insecurities when you start focusing on hers. And it might feel nice that she's being vulnerable with you, that she's sharing this side of herself. But there's a big difference between healthy emotional venting and emotionally dumping a big insecure load on your chest. So if she's just constantly looking for approval, looking for compliments, making it about herself, not actually caring about your feelings, and just hosting this never-ending pity party, then that's emotional dumping. Over time, that's gonna get super draining. You're gonna have all your focus on her and you're actually gonna lose your own time and attention. And she's not gonna actually put any focus back on you. You're gonna start losing your purpose and your goals. So don't sacrifice that. Don't sacrifice your autonomy. She needs to learn to love herself before she can love anyone else. You're the best guy she's ever dated. Look, maybe she's dated a bunch of fools. Maybe she's told you about them. You've seen photos. And You feel very secure, right? She wasn't dating some NBA player that you had to worry about. It's like she's dating all these fucking low value guys. But you need to ask yourself why. There's a reason behind it. It could be self-sabotage. Maybe she doesn't believe she deserves better. But if that's the case, then she's gonna prove it to herself once again. She's gonna keep pushing you away. She's gonna start fights. She's gonna find some way to prove that she doesn't deserve you. And then you have the girls that complain about their exes. Every single one of them was a toxic, manipulative asshole. And look, maybe she's lying and just not taking any responsibility for herself. Maybe these are just relationships that are ending. And instead of thinking, what can I do better? What did I actually do wrong in this relationship? What can I learn? She just blames the guy. Or it is true, she's dating a bunch of assholes, and you gotta question that too. Like, at what point do you shift your energy and focus from going after the same guy over and over again to actually picking and making a better choice? And the third option is they're being a little bit manipulative. Now, I'm careful to say this because there are generally women out there that suffer abuse and are victims. But I've also seen women that use this to manipulate guys that are a little bit more nice, agreeable, that are easy to manipulate. And they come across as this victim. So it's really hard for the nice guy to push back in any way, to set any boundaries. So if you have women that have horrible dating histories, if they're always complaining about their exes, you need to start asking yourself, what does that really say about them? She trusts you with secrets right away. So these are the girls that are like, yo, my best friend just told me this, like, make sure you don't tell anyone, like, I trust you with this. And you've just been seeing her for a couple of weeks. Like, she should have such a better, closer relationship with all these other people in her life, not you. So even though it feels like, fuck, we might have this amazing bond, she trusts me so much already, we're sharing all this together, really ask yourself, if she's breaking that trust to you, she's gonna probably break that trust with you as well. She's so nice. And I know you might be thinking, what the fuck, Marcus? Like, I want a girl that's nice. I don't want some asshole, dramatic, crazy party girl. Like, I want to settle down, or I want to have a relationship with a girl that's nice. You have to be careful here, because if you have someone that you're not having any arguments, any fights with, and maybe the girl looks like she gets upset at times, but then says, I'm fine, it's okay, it's nothing. And you might be thinking, great, right, this is so easy. We never argue about anything. That bottling up of emotion is a sign. It tells me that this girl probably finds it very difficult to communicate, to actually solve and have conflict resolution. And over time, that resentment is gonna build up. And so if you can't actually have these discussions, arguments, communications in the beginning of your relationships, then I guarantee the longer it goes on, that bottle is going to explode. So if you have a girl that's overly agreeable and just says everything is fine, then it's probably not going to be fine for long. The other end of that spectrum is the girl that is super exciting and fun to be around. Because you have to ask yourself, why and where is that coming from? If you have a girl that just loves drama and the emotional spikes that come with it, and especially the ones that tell you, I hate drama, but is single-handedly the ones creating it all around her, then be careful. Because at some point, once again, they're going to want to bring that emotion into the relationship. These are the types of girls that start fights just to make sure that you're still into them. Or the ones that start fights just because the makeup sex is great. So be careful with this. You don't want these huge emotional highs and lows within your relationship that the girl is artificially trying to create. She makes you her everything. So again, similar to the first point, be careful when she becomes too dependent. If this is early in the relationship and she's suddenly ditching all her friends and just wanting to see you all the time, she's messaging you all the time, then hold back a second. Because again, feels good in the beginning, but over time, you're going to lose your autonomy. You'll start to feel suffocated. What you found attractive in her, you no longer will. And it's gonna ruin the relationship. So if you notice a girl becoming too dependent at first, be careful. These red flags allow you to make these little micro changes in the dynamic of the relationship before it goes further. Before it gets to the point where the girl has control, she treats you with no respect, she cheats on you or she moves on. They allow you to know what to expect before entering the relationship. They can really open your eyes so you know what you're getting into. Start looking for these red flags in the dynamics you have with women. And I don't mean like a paranoid investigator. Don't sit there and drill her like, tell me about your fucking ex-boyfriends. But people will reveal themselves through situations and not just their words. So it's going to take time. Build up a relationship gradually. Don't dive into anything super fast, super quick right away. Give it time, because you will start to see these patterns, these behaviors in women. So what to do when you actually start seeing any of these red flags. And this is the most important part of the video, not just identifying, but what the fuck do you do about it? The first thing you need to make sure you do is not have this automatic response to ignore it out of fear. Because the whole idea of screening is your ability to say no and move on. You should never start any dynamic with a girl if you do not have the ability to say, this isn't right for me, I don't want to invest myself emotionally or with time or anything into this, and I'm going to move on. We also need to understand that these behaviors are on a spectrum. Just because she displays one of them doesn't mean she's a toxic person. Lots of girls I'm with at one point in our relationships have showed one toxic behavior. But take note of it. Keep a journal if you have to. You have to find that balance of being like overly paranoid and just being completely blind. And look, with that journal, write down exactly the type of girl you want. What are you really after? So instead of trying to fit like a square peg through a round hole, you can actually see this is the criteria of girl I want. And you can do that when you're not emotionally involved. And then when you meet a girl or different girls, you can actually go through objectively and think, does this meet what I want in my life? And the last and most important point is you have to understand your behaviors can induce red flags in women. The way you act and behave will have an impact on the way she reacts to you and the way she behaves. So if you enter this dynamic and the only time you ever give her attention is when she plays up or she makes you jealous, then guess what she's going to do? You're basically telling her, I will show you all the attention you want, just make me jealous. That's all you have to do. What do you think she's gonna do? She's gonna start messaging guys in front of you, talk about the guys she met at work. She honestly might be toxic walking red flag for you and the perfect girlfriend for another man. And this is what I see the most. Whenever I'm in the mastermind and I'm chatting to our students and we're going and talking about girls that they're with and issues that they're having, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, it's not actually the girl's fault. It's something in the guy's behavior that they could have changed to change the outcome. So even though these red flags are important to pick up, when you see them, the question you need to ask yourself, is this just her behavior with everyone else, with every other guy, with her family and friends? Is this how she's acting with them? Or am I doing something in this relationship, in this dynamic, that's actually creating it? And is there something I can change that is actually going to change her behavior? And that might be confusing at first. You might think like, Marcus, I don't fucking know. And sometimes when you do see a red flag or try to set a boundary, you might ask yourself, am I the crazy one here? Am I being too demanding? Am I being overreactive? It can be hard to know, but that's where we're here to help. You can join our mastermind during the 2-week free trial. You do not want to continue living a life always blaming women and thinking I can never find the right one, if perhaps it's just you that is the problem, where if you just made a couple of changes, a little improvements, if you just understood female psychology a little bit better, then you might be able to find the right one right away. All right, click the link below. I'll see you in there. Otherwise, peace guys.